Gloucestershire has more people as a proportion of our workforce employed in export-intensive industries of any local enterprise partnership area in the country. This county has more people employed in medium and high-tech manufacturing than any other part of the country, and our survival rate for start-up businesses is amongst the best in England, with over 5,000 businesses setting up in the last 12 months alone.
Over 1/3 of our highly skilled graduates moved into employment in Gloucestershire companies every year, and annually universities add £3.4 billion to the economy. Last year, the University of Gloucestershire worked with over 300 businesses on projects that support growth, innovation and skills.
We all want Gloucestershire to be successful. We all want to see the growth in this county's economy that leads to improved lifestyle, to job creation and to wealth creation for our wider economy.
And this is why we're here today, to tell you how, with our exciting vision for a growth hub. It's a vision based on a partnership between GFirst LEP and the University of Gloucestershire, but more importantly, it's a vision based on feedback from you, the business community. I'm Laura Pratt, Director of Business Development for the University of Gloucestershire.
And I'm David Owen, Chief Executive for GFirst Local Enterprise Partnership. Please join with me in welcoming our first two speakers, Stephen Marston, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Gloucestershire, and Dr. Diane Savory, OBE, the Chair of GFirst Local Enterprise Partnership, to tell us about the Growth Hub.
So Diane, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us what's brought us to this point. Why a growth hub and why now?
Well, I guess as some of you might have realised by now, I'm passionate about Gloucestershire and passionate about business growth here. There's a real need now for a joined-up approach and to growing businesses. The GFirst LEP, we've been working for over 2 years now, working with our 11 sector groups, which represent 80% of GBA and 75% of employment. We have our business membership group, representing over 16,000 of our Gloucestershire businesses. And we have over 400 ambassadors, and they've all been giving us this feedback. The key message from all of this has been they want transformational change. They want tailored business support, and they all want a very much more joined-up approach. They want accelerated growth, and the vision of the Growth Hub is transformational models to do just this.
And Stephen, since you joined the university 2.5 years ago now, we've seen a real change in the university's approach to business. Can you talk to us about how you've engaged more with the economy and with the business community?
Good morning, everybody. Our starting point is that we are the University of Gloucestershire, the University for Gloucestershire, and that has to include playing our part in driving growth and supporting businesses in Gloucestershire. And we take it very seriously as part of our responsibility as a university. And so we've wanted to work closely with the LEP for 2 years now on how do we help businesses in Gloucestershire to grow. So we've been looking at introducing new courses in retail, courses in engineering. We've been doing a lot of work to make our students as employable as we can. Over 3,000 of our students this year are going to be on work placements. We work with yourselves at the LEP to get a significant amount of money from the European Union to develop enterprise hubs. So we've now got 4 new enterprise hubs in Cheltenham and Gloucester. We're offering innovation vouchers. We've now run 52 knowledge transfer partnerships with the Technology Strategy Board. There's a whole range of things that we're trying to do, and all of it is about working with businesses, working with the LEP to try and grow Gloucestershire. Because the thing that we all know is that the type of growth we want in the county and in the country is very dependent on skill. We're not looking for low skill, low wage growth. What we want is knowledge intensive, high skill growth, offering high wages in companies with high growth potential. And that's what we're about. That's what we're trying to do, supporting businesses in Gloucestershire.
And we're here to launch the Growth Hub this morning. Can you talk to us about what you believe the vision of the Growth Hub is?
The Growth Hub is the next big step on in this journey about promoting growth in Gloucestershire. And the concept is to try to create a place, jointly with the LEP and the university, that businesses can come to, businesses can look to for help in supporting their own growth. At present, things can look very fragmented. It's very hard to know where to go to get support. If you're a business, you're looking to growth, you're looking to introduce a new innovation. The Growth Hub is the place where we bring together all of our services from the university, from the LEP, working with other partners to support export, to support upskilling, to support high growth. And it's the place for Gloucestershire businesses to come for support.
Diane, what's going to make this a transformational model?
It's going to be transformational because the vision of the Growth Hub is to be integrated and coordinated in its business support services. And I know from my supergroup days that I could never find that. And deliver them in a way that is very much more accessible across the county. Current business support, as Steve has alluded to, is often fragmented and not very easily accessible. So, and in many cases, businesses don't even know where to go, where to start, and I think this Growth Hub will provide that. Talking to businesses, we have identified a gap in the market for something that doesn't already exist in Gloucestershire, and this doesn't.
And can you give us a flavour of what it will actually do? That's the vision. What will it actually do, Steve, and what will the Growth Hub do for Gloucestershire?
What it will do is bring together the services that we can offer to help businesses grow. So there are quite a well-known range of barriers, step functions that businesses need to tackle if they're going to grow. For example, when you're first thinking about exporting, or when you first take on your first members of staff, when you need to offer a new training programme for your workforce, when you need to introduce a new innovation, when you need to develop a new website. There's a whole range of things that a business will need to do if it's to achieve the growth that it's looking for, and our goal is to bring all of that together in a single place so that whatever help the business needs, it can be confident that we will be able to point it to the right source for that help.
And how are you going to deliver that model to business? How are you going to deliver those services?
By integrating what we offer, building on it and expanding it. So what we're going to do is come together, the University's Business Development Unit, LEP staff, co-locating, drawing very extensively on the teaching and research and business services activities of the University's Business School. So that what you've got drawn together in one place, integrating, working together, is a set of people, all of them helping to support business in Gloucestershire.
Diane, why will this be different from anything that we've seen before?
Fundamentally, because it will be that one-stop shop. It will be there for start-up businesses with high growth potential, or those with high growth sectors. We want to try and start breaking down the barriers in a way that's right for business, not necessarily the other way around where the university has gone out to the business. It will be business actually saying to us what you need. And it may be around innovation. It might be about hiring and training staff. It might be about developing a website, or even how to export, or even developing the next stage for a company's business strategy. There will be no one size that fits all. It will be quite bespoke.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've got some very exciting news to announce this morning, which we were on tenterhooks until sometime yesterday to announce. But Stephen, government are now backing the concept of the Growth Hub financially. Can you tell us a bit more about the success that we've had in the last 24 hours?
I'm very glad you asked that, David. Takes me completely by surprise. An email we were waiting for just arrived yesterday. I can confirm that the interim chief executive of the Higher Education Funding Council has today formally approved the Catalyst Fund award of £2.7 million of recurrent grant to support the Gloucestershire Growth Hub project. I like emails like that. If anybody else would like to send me an email, that would be welcome as well. But it's really great news. We've spent about a year working with the Higher Education Funding Council on this project, trying to explain to them what it was about, what it was trying to achieve, and yesterday they finally confirmed that they would invest £2.7 million in this project.
And part of that challenge for the year has been, because this is unique, isn't it? There's nothing else like this, there's no partnership like this, and it's actually been explaining to the Funding Council why a university would want to engage in this way.
That's right. The Funding Council are looking to support innovations by universities that achieve public policy goals. And this is one of the biggest. There's a whole pile of paper if anybody's interested. There's Lord Heseltine's report, there's the Whitty report, there's a report by the Association of Business Schools, there's a report by Lord Young to the Prime Minister, and all of them are about the part that universities should play in driving growth. As I said earlier, it's critical to the government's whole programme. We've got to increase rates of growth, and we will only do that if universities are playing their part in high-skill, knowledge-intensive growth and supporting businesses. And that's why HEFCE have been willing to invest this 2.7 million in the Growth Hub, because they see it as an important example of how a university and its LEP should be working together for the economy.
Diane, this funding award is great news, isn't it?
Absolutely fabulous news. I was absolutely thrilled to hear the news yesterday. And I really is thanks to the university and its ambitious approach to this, and also thanks to Stephen and his team for all the work that has gone into working with us at the LEP. We are the only LEP area that working with our university in this way, and so far as we know, this is the only scheme that government are backing of this kind.
And how does all of this fit into the wider economic plan for Gloucestershire?
Well, the Growth Hub is one of our flagship proposals in our economic plan, which is our business plan for Gloucestershire, which we have to submit to central government early next year. We are in intensive discussions at the moment, not just with businesses, but all our stakeholders, including councils, to map out strategy for the county. The concept of the Growth Hub has arisen from all of this debate and is a key initiative in all of this.
Stephen, Diane, thank you very much for now. We're going to hear a bit more from you later, and thank you very much for confirming the £2.7 million that we heard about yesterday, Stephen. The Growth Hub is all about delivering to business. So if you join me in welcoming three of our business leaders, Neil Ricketts of Versarian, Adam Starkey of Green Gourmet, and Ruth Dooley of Hazelwoods, we'll hear some more about what they believe the Growth Hub can do for them. Come and join us. So, Neil, you're first. Talk to us a little bit about the Versarian story and what life's like being a start-up business in Gloucestershire.
So, it's really hard for me to get this across without getting a bit emotional, to be honest. Last year, just over sort of 16, 17 months ago, three of us were working out of my garage in the Forest of Dean. And it was hard. We didn't know where to go, we didn't know what to do. Several times we actually considered giving up and returning to full-time jobs. But luckily we managed to stick with it, and on June the 12th we managed to float the business on the stock exchange, valuing the business at over 11 million in just over 18 months. And going from the three guys working out of the garage, mainly me most of the time, to be honest. I didn't even have a dog for company at that stage. To 55 employees and a really thriving business. We released our interim figures into the stock exchange yesterday, and they were well received. And we're seeing that we're getting lots and lots of opportunities in order to really grow that business, and all of these initiatives will be required by us.
What do you think, if the Growth Hub had been there, I don't think they would have got you a dog, but what might the Growth Hub have done that would have helped your business or would help other start-up businesses?
There is quite a bewildering, very mystical pot of money that's out there that we all know exists, but unfortunately we can never seem to tap into. There are great initiatives like the Technology Strategy Board, the Innovation Vouchers, the Knowledge Transfer Partnerships, and all of these things that we've been able to now access. But there isn't a Bible, there isn't a way of being able to demystify that. So when you're sort of sat there and you've got all the pressures of the VAT and the bank manager and customers, it's very difficult to see the way forward. And what the sort of Growth Hub actually enables is for someone to actually be able to take you through that journey without having to go through all the pain and the heartache that is normally accompanied with trying to access some of this stuff. For us, we've been able to access over £600,000 worth of grant money through the Technology Strategy Board to drive innovation in the county. But it's very unlikely that other people would know how to access that money unless there was a guide in that process.
How did you find out about it?
I was very fortunate that I bumped into almost a tour guide and a very well-paid consultant now, but they knew how the system worked, and because we were able to actually work with those guys, they actually enabled us to be able to work our way through the rules and the regulations. So last year, when we started the business, we operated with just one grant, and as I say, there's just the 3 of us, 2 engineers at that stage. And now we're operating with 9 of these grants and drawing down over £500,000 worth of grant funding, which could mean that we've got an enabling technology for electric vehicles. And central government has realised that by developing these type of technologies and by investing into these kind of initiatives, that we can actually get into the export markets and promote some of the things that this country is really, really good at, the advanced manufacturing, the real innovation that we've always had a natural ability to be able to do.
Neil, you mentioned moving from 3 to 55 employees, so it's clear that a pipeline of highly skilled people has been important to your success. How can the Growth Hub support skills development?
For us, we just cannot grow it fast enough, and the reason that one of the main issues why we don't grow at the moment is the access to apprentices, to undergraduates, to postgraduates. We need to do some fundamental research. We need to find the people that can actually help us on that journey. The problem we have in the county is that sometimes there's a migration of those skills because they don't find the jobs that are actually in the county. And the Growth Hub should be able to help match some of those key skills, getting young people excited about the advanced manufacturing sectors, about some of the other sectors that we see in the county, and being able to retain and also attract people into the county so that we don't have to go to London or Liverpool or Manchester to try and find that natural talent that's already here.
Ruth, you're involved in the export agenda and many of your clients will be. What's the opportunity here for export?
Well, David mentioned earlier on that Gloucestershire actually has more employees in exporting companies than any other county in the UK. And actually it's on the top of the rankings with London, which is pretty impressive. So we've got a good base, but there's a lot of opportunities out there in terms of what UKTI offer, MAS, all of those other organisations that can help. And at the moment there's no way that they sort of get pulled together into a central area or a central place where businesses can go to know where to get that help to export. So I think the Growth Hub is going to be incredibly important as far as that's concerned. We want to raise the profile of Gloucestershire as an exporting county. We've got trade missions that have gone out to China recently, and we've got some link-ups with, I think it's Gaojin project, I can't pronounce it.
Guangzhou.
Thank you. Say it again.
Guangzhou.
That's, thank you. Anyway, that province in China, which is great. But we want more of that. And also people think about exporting purely in terms of manufacturing. But actually services is a great thing to export as well. I have a client that does laundries, but they don't just take the laundries abroad, they take the know-how as to how to set up a laundry is what they export. And there's a lot of skills and knowledge out there that people can export, and they don't realise that they're ahead of the curve. And our businesses are ahead of the curve, and that's what we need to get it out there basically. And I think the Growth Hub will be amazingly helpful for that.
And Adam, Green Gourmet is a little bit older than Sarian. Just give us a quick background on Green Gourmet and the business and where it came from.
Green Gourmet was a business that I started out at university. It was a one-man business, chopping a lot of onions and making vegetarian dishes and trying to sell them to students. And after a series of failures, I finally found something that people did want to buy. And we've grown, and we're about 10 million turnover now, still supplying students in education, but mainly primary schools. And also we're supplying the airline sectors. So when you have those bacon baguettes or toasties on flights when you go on holiday, and you think, God, this is a bit tough. That's
But you also, you just told me you got the product of the year, didn't you? The award last year.
We did. It's a strange world in business. We did win the International Airline Product of the Year Innovation Award, we were the first people to put chips on an aeroplane. And it's the only place in the world you can't get chips, is on an aeroplane. So we did that, and we thought, that's it, we've cracked it. I was writing business plans which had a lot of noughts in them. Strangely, that product hasn't really taken off. We're still selling more toasted cheese sandwiches and bacon baguettes than we are chips. So you never know. You really have to keep trying and keep innovating.
From what you know about the Growth Hub, because you obviously know quite a bit about it now, what do you think the Growth Hub could have done that would have helped you? Maybe you would have made less mistakes, would have helped your business?
Well, you can get a little bit insular in your own business and concentrating on your own problems and your own customers and your own suppliers. you do need something to raise your head a little and get you inspired and make you believe that all things are possible. So sometimes you just need to step outside and go somewhere else and so you can feel differently. But then you also need to network with other companies. And when you meet somebody like Neil, I think, goodness, we're underperforming, we need to grow faster. so you need that incentive. And then there's the practical stuff of having access to the help and support when you need it and sort of at the time that you need it, as well as guidance through the loans and funding. I'm very impressed that you're getting all this funding. I see it, and sometimes you go, is that worth applying for? It's very difficult to apply for this stuff. So that sort of support as well.
Just one other example that Adam was kind enough to get involved in. We have a wonderful student at the university called Lisa, who as part of our current enterprise programme set up her own business called Lisa's Kitchen, where she spotted her gap in the market in terms of the very unhealthy food that most students eat. So she's been producing food to sell to students, and when I heard this story I said, I know who you need to talk to. And Adam was kind enough to see Lisa, and that sort of connection, someone just starting out in her business career with a great idea, wants to set up her own business, being able to talk to someone in the same sector with Adam's achievement is just a fantastic example of how really good mentoring and coaching can work, and the sort of connection we'd like to be seeing running in the Growth Hub.
One final question to each of you. What do you think is the biggest difference that the Growth Hub will make? Neil?
I think that it will start to create an entrepreneurial culture within the county. It'll start to get kids seeing these role models and seeing, actually enabling the change that is required in order to meet some of the targets that you saw up there. I think it's fantastic when you come and you see these videos, and a bit like Adam, I sort of sit there and think, 10 million, I'd love to have 10 million, but you see these great stories, and I don't think sometimes that we promote ourselves or actually engage as much as we could, and this will be a great opportunity to make that happen, the networking and the provision of the skills that are necessary to grow some of these great businesses, the SPPs, the Renishaws, and even some of the much smaller businesses like mine.
Ruth?
I agree, absolutely. It's going to be something that brings together so much that's already out there. So it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about having a hub with spokes that just pulls together what already exists into a place where everybody can go, every business can go, and they will have public sector, private sector, small businesses, large businesses, startups, mature businesses. They can all come together. I mean, Gloucestershire has a fantastic business community in terms of the amount of mentoring, support, apprenticeships. There is a great business atmosphere in Gloucestershire, and I think this is a fantastic way to just pull all of that together. Adam?
For me, it's about building the brand of Gloucestershire as a place which has a culture of learning and growth. So whether you're a student or an undergraduate, postgraduate, whether you're in work, whether you're a business leader, whether you're a whole business, I think they all need to have that culture of growing and changing and learning all the time, because when they all do that together, then that's growth for the whole place. It's not just a place to go for a walk in the countryside, it's the best place to locate your business and grow.
Adam, Ruth, Neil, thank you all very much for joining us this morning and talking a bit about what you expect from the Growth Hub. Thank you. So, Stephen, £2.7 million in the bank, nearly. What are the next steps that the university and the AEP need to take to make what you've described as the vision earlier on the reality, to start delivering?
Well, the 2.7 million will allow us to move a lot further and a lot faster. What we're going to do is co-locate, bring together the LEP and the Business Development Unit, working very closely with the university's business school, so that we can draw together the services we already offer, things like KTP, skills development. We can be developing a new range of programs that are specifically designed to meet business needs. We can be looking at skill development, we can be looking at innovation and enterprise support, and we can be offering those services well marketed, using the LEP's sector networks and business contacts to make sure that everybody knows there is now the Growth Hub you can come to for advice and help on how to grow your business.
And Diane, what's the LEP's commitment to this project?
Well, I think it's very important to realise that this is very much the start of a journey. It doesn't stop or start in autumn 2014 next year. It's very much a long-term commitment to Gloucestershire. The integration of the business school will be a major part of that as time goes on. But what's important now is we work closely with all of you, the business community and other service providers and stakeholders to bring this together. And we will define and shape exactly what we need to move forward and deliver all of this in a very much integrated way.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Steve. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking all of our guests today. So as we've heard, today is all about sharing the vision with you about how this will transform the business community and economic development in County.
The vision is a long-term journey. You've heard that from Diane. This isn't about what we do over the course of the next 9 months. It's about what we do over the course of the next 9 or 10 years. The LEP and the university are totally committed to the partnership in the long run and making this work, making the Growth Hub be really effective for Gloucestershire. And we've heard the great news today, I'll say it again, of the £2.7 million investment from government that demonstrates that government have belief in the university and the LEP, but more importantly, that government have belief in the economy of Gloucestershire and are backing this economy to grow and to grow the UK PLC. So there is a huge opportunity for all of us in this room to drive growth and for the county to increase its overall prosperity over the coming years with the Growth Hub as a real focus of that activity.
And we want you to be part of the vision to help make it a reality. We'd like you to be involved in shaping the services that the Growth Hub will deliver when it opens its doors next year. Today, you could do that in 2 ways. Firstly, if you would show your support for the Growth Hub by leaving your badge as you leave the event this morning in one of the pledge buckets. Secondly, we've given you a lot of information, so we know you may have questions and we'd love to hear your feedback. So if you could join us in a moment next door, we can continue with networking, discussion and answer any questions.
The investment we've heard about this morning gives us an absolutely fantastic start to launch and development of the Growth Hub. We believe that we can make Gloucestershire exceptional and make the vision that you've heard about this morning a reality for this county and for its economy. Thank you all very much for coming this morning and hearing about what we've talked to you about.